Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome to lesson 4.2. This lesson is about us writing equations into slope-intercept form. There's a few ideas that we need to make sure that we are well aware of. So let's get started here and get ourselves rolling. So when we're writing equations and we've been given a point and a slope, the steps are to use the slope-intercept form, that y equals mx plus b. And what we're going to do is we're going to substitute in these three things: the y and the x from the point, and the m from the slope. And we're going to solve then for b in step 2. And then we'll use the m and the b that we know to write an equation in slope-intercept form. So let's practice one of those problems. Right here. So we have ourselves an x, we have ourselves a y, and we have ourselves an m. So our job is just to plug those things into the equation. So it's going to say -3 is equal to 1/2 times the 2 for the x, and then plus b at the end. Now this goes back to what we learned in chapter 2. We're going to solve this multi-step equation here. We're going to combine our like terms over here by just doing some math. So a 2 times 1/2 makes 1. So we'll say 1 plus b is equal to that -3. And then we're going to solve for this b by subtracting 1 from both sides. When we subtract 1 from both sides, we'll get a b is equal to this -4. And then -4 is our b. So we would plug into our equation. Our m was 1/2. The x is still there, and then instead of plus b, since it's a -4, we'll just put down -4. And then we'd be able to graph that pretty quickly, just like what we learned in our last lesson. All right, let's check out another one. There's other ideas. Sometimes they're going to give us 2 points. So if we have been given 2 points, you're going to use the points to find slope. You're going to then substitute with our x and our y. You're going to choose one of the points to be our x and our y. And then you'll solve for b and just do what we did last time. So again, finding slope, that's that y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 stuff. And so what we're going to do is just do the math. It'll say -8 minus a -4 over a -2 minus a -3. So this turns into an -8 plus 4 and a -2 plus 3 for my slope to be a -4 over 1. So my m equals -4. Now I'm going to use one of these two slopes. I'm going to choose this one to be my x and my y, and then solve the equation. So I have a -4, because that's my y, is equal to the -4 from my m times this -3 for my x plus b. And we're going to solve for b. So we do the math that we can on the right side. -4 times -3 makes a 12. So our equation now turns into 12 plus b equals -4. So to solve it, we'd have to subtract 12 from both sides and find out that b is equal to a -16. So with b being a -16 and m equaling a -4, we can now rewrite our equation. So our equation is going to say y is equal to a -4x, because that's what my m is, and then -16. So that gets me my wonderful information there. Now I'm going to ask that you please do this problem on your own, and then we will put this one on the board when you guys come back to class to check how we're doing with this type of a process. So this will be something that you will put into your notes and make sure that you have a good answer for us. All right, here's our last example. The table below shows the average fares for domestic flights in certain years. Write an equation that could be used to predict airfares since the year 2000. That's a pretty important piece of information. If they continue to increase at this rate. So let's check this stuff out. since the year 2000, that's 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. So these big numbers kind of change into just being like that. Okay, since the year 2000. All right, so this is my y values. These are my x values. So the change of y was going down 12, or just 12, and the change of x is 1. So my m is equal to a 12. Now all I have to do is choose one of these points to plug in. I like to choose the smallest numbers possible for my x and for my y to get the rest of the problem, because our job is to make an equation and then predict the year 2013. So I have this for my y, so it's going to say 354 is equal to the 12 in for the m times the 4 for x plus b. I'm going to do the math that's on the right side, which is a 48. So it's going to say 48 plus 12 is equal to 354. And then we're going to subtract 48 from both sides to get my b. So I'm going to use my trusty calculator just to make sure I don't make silly mistakes or have fat finger syndrome, which would be a silly mistake. 354 minus 48. Good, it's what I thought it was. So 306 is my b. So my equation is going to say y is equal to a 12x plus 306. So that you can see that the cost is going to increase at $12 per year, and it started at $306. All right, so let's use this information to make a prediction for the year 2013. Remember that the equation was y is equal to 12x plus 306. So our job is going to be to plug in the 2013. Now, very key piece of information was that we were talking about something from the year 2000. So we're only plugging in the year 13 in for x. So it's going to say y is equal to 12 times that 13 plus 306 to figure out my new fare. Now remember, the airfares were the y values. So we literally are going to use a calculator. We're going to do 12 times that 13 and then add 306 as our base price. And we find out that the new cost in 2013 would be $462. So that's a cheap, expensive. I don't know. It's $462 in the year 2013, even though that's some time ago. But that's the information, folks. So we will be able to use tables to be able to solve things and make predictions for future items, even though 2013 is not the future. All right, folks, that is all we got for you. This is the Burma Nation. We're signing off. Have a wonderful time. Peace out.